Hi, readers. Yesterday, we kicked off our new nonfiction unit by reading this beautiful nonfiction text called Rotten by Anita Sanchez. As we read this text, we did some really essential nonfiction work, the kind of work you want to do every time you read a nonfiction text. So before we jump into today's lesson, I want to make sure that we take some time to remember what we did because we always want to do this. So whenever you read nonfiction, you want to start by orienting to the text and previewing parts of it. We did this by flipping through, looking at the title, analyzing the subtitle, the images, and we asked ourselves, what might this text be teaching us? We even had to revise our ideas before we even got into the actual text itself. That just shows us how essential revision is, not just in writing, but in reading. It helps us and guides us as readers of nonfiction. We then used other cool tools like the table of contents to help ourselves make a plan for our reading work. We looked at parts that we thought might be interesting, and then we started right there. We dove into the parts that were really on our minds. When we started reading, we read and noticed details, asking ourselves, what details are standing out to me? What am I picturing as I read this? And we know that nonfiction texts can get kind of complicated. So we made sure to make some room for pausing and rereading, especially when there were confusing parts. We stopped and thought about the main ideas that seemed to be forming, and we made some predictions about ideas that were coming to be or future parts that we might learn later. So I might be moving this off the side, but I'm not really. This is the kind of work we want always to be living in the backs of our minds. So this will come up again, for sure. But for now, we're going to go into a different lesson. And today, we are going to be focusing on reader mindset. Today, I want to teach you that readers can read to be fascinated by letting bits of text stand out by asking questions and forming ideas. So we basically have a choice as readers. We can face nonfiction as this big, scary thing that we don't like. Or we can say, hey, I am learning a lot, or I'm excited to learn a lot. We can then read intensely. We can choose texts and books that will really get us excited and maintain our excitement. And we can continue to do this really big work that we've been learning before, making predictions, thinking, and clearing up confusion, because we know a lot of ways to already do that. So right now, I want to show you how I try to be fascinated. And I want you to maybe be the judge of whether or not I'm actually doing a good job. So watch me as I do this in the next section of Rotten. If you remember yesterday, we left off around the part where we were learning about dung beetles. So I'm just going to read one of the pages here. And just think, am I doing a good job of being a fascinated nonfiction reader? Let's see. Why do some things smell bad to us? We're attracted by the luscious scent of food that's good for us, a ripe apple or juicy steak, but we're disgusted by the smell of things that might hurt us. If you ate spoiled meat or got too close to dung that carried disease, you might get sick. Our noses have evolved with a keen sense of smell. Okay, am I doing a good job? Do I seem fascinated? I'm reading it closely. I'm using my finger to guide me. I'm reading the words well, maybe, but you don't hear much excitement at all in my voice. I'm not stopping to think, as we said before. I'm kind of just whizzing past parts, so maybe things are confusing to me, but you would never really know because it didn't stop at all. There wasn't evidence of any of this. The doctor wasn't evidence of any of this. So I'm going to try that again. And this time, take note of what I do to keep myself fascinated. Okay, this part is called, why do some things smell bad to us? And we have this picture of this person looking like they're going to throw up. So I'm wondering if this part is also going to be related to the dung beetles. I'm wondering like how it might fit together. And also we were learning about basically poop on these pages. So maybe we'll kind of like be reflecting some of that information. Let me take a closer look. We're attracted by the luscious scent of food that's good for us, a ripe apple or a juicy steak. Yeah, whenever I smell something delicious, I'm drawn to it. I'm thinking about yesterday. I was walking in the street and there's this pie shop. They were making the most amazing pecan pies. I could smell them and I just was almost racing toward it. But we're disgusted by the smell of things that might hurt us. I never thought of it that way. So when I hate the smell of the garbage that's sinking up my apartment, that's actually my body telling me ooh, that could hurt you. Get rid of it. Let me see if that's really true though. If you ate spoiled meat or got too close to dung that carried disease, you might get sick. So, wow, our bodies are so powerful. They basically block disease or they do the best they can by making things smell bad so we don't want them. Do you see a difference? What did I do this time? Well, this time I was really trying to be fascinated and I did some things like I read the title. I kind of got oriented this section, made a prediction of maybe how the section would go. I also stopped to think about it. I asked myself some questions as I read, and then I read on to look more closely at those details. I even reacted to the text, and I brought in my own personal experience or memories. I was thinking about the pie shop. I was thinking about the garbage in my apartment. Do you see that when you choose to be fascinated, you can get so much more out of a text? So today, my challenge for you is to read to be fascinated. You're going to be reading basically any text you want. You can have fun with it. You can choose any topic you want today. Just read nonfiction. And you might use some of these thought prompts to help your jots today as you read. But most importantly, remember that powerful nonfiction readers have to choose to be fascinated. They make decisions about how they're going to approach it. Then they carry those out by asking questions, looking at details more closely, and really letting themselves be in awe of the text. So when you go off today, I hope you keep this in mind, and I hope that you use some of my thought prompts to help to make sure that your jots reflect your excitement and enthusiasm for nonfiction reading. I can't wait to read your first jots of nonfiction. It's going to be really fun to see what you're thinking. All right, friends, enjoy.